Well, okay, so more homes to sell means, more opportunity for real estate agents. So back to what you were talking about a minute ago, that's a good thing. But, for owners, you want to be one of those homes that gets the 30, 40 offers, if that still ever happens.
Sure.
And if you're not, you've got programs for that too, but that's another show. So what are the top maybe 5 things, if you are looking to sell your home right now, that you can do to help you move towards that multiple offer situation and to maximize your value?
Absolutely, and it's a list. Yeah, definitely we can hit that, and I'll give you kind of the 30,000-foot view of this. And when we sit down with owners and we really get into our strategy sessions, because it is case or house specific, then we go more into the detail of that. But like I've said many times, the front yard, your curb appeal is key, and curb appeal these days is not just driving by; it's every single photo that is actually tagged to your house out there, and the more photos I think you have, the better the story you can tell.
It's funny because people used to drive around looking at homes. I don't know what the percentage is. You might even, but I have to imagine the amount of people who see it online and see those pictures, those digital photos, is astronomically higher than anybody who sees the home first driving by.
Yeah, it's you would really start to date yourself
if
you started saying, "I'm going to drive by."
around,
yeah, you probably have an AOL email account too, right?
Good point.
Yeah, for sure. But here's another thing I'll tell you too, because this is. We have great photographers that we work with, but also realize that sometimes the photo from the road doesn't give the perception of the slope of the lot.
Mm-hmm.
So there is another little tool I highly recommend is go Google the address and then go to the Google Street View, because you might find that thing's sitting 10 feet down below the road or 10 feet above the road, and it's got a big steep driveway that just doesn't. You don't get a clear understanding of that with that photography, with the photo or whatever. So, all right, prune the bushes and the shrubs, and they should be shrubs. If your shrubs are taller than your roof line, that's no longer a shrub. That's called a tree. It's called overgrown. It needs probably to go away. But get those things tamed down if you can. Lawn should be obviously mowed, the sticks and leaves and all that picked up out of the way. Windows cleaned. It's probably something that we don't think about too often because we get so used to these things, Keith, at our house. Like, we're just like, whatever. It's, that cobweb's been in that window for, 10 months, whatever. Just don't think about it anymore.
Well, just because it doesn't bug you, you're going to have a whole bunch of strangers in your home. There may be people that it really bothers and could cost you a sale in some cases.
It very much could. So there's a saying that I like. It's how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so, if you're going to do this and put the house on the market, let's get it right. And having those windows clean and either have the screens removed, which is, I like that just because it gives you you don't end up with a weird shadow reflection on the window when you're taking photos. Or if you do want to leave your screens in, just make sure they're not ripped and torn and replace them if they are. And gutters, come on guys, no trees in the gutters, please. It's not landscaping up there on the roof, so let's don't do that. Driveways and sidewalks pressure washed. Absolutely do not do this. 100% yourself. If you want to hire someone to do it, I support your decision.
Yeah.
But if you go out and rent a 48,000 percent PSI that will burn concrete up, well, a lot of times you end up with this lovely tiger striped or zebra striped sidewalk and or driveway, and you don't realize that pressure washer is only removing about 2 to 3 inches of that's about as big as the stream is. So think about how many 2 to 3 inch squares are on your driveway. It's an all day project. So there's guys out here that have better equipment than you will have. They will do it right, but I'm going to say if you were attempting to do it yourself, don't. And definitely don't let your teenage kids do it, because then we end up with all kinds of creativity in the sidewalk. We end up with tic-tac-toe, we end up with cars, we end up with everything. So just trust me on that one. It's better to leave it alone or hire a professional. Porch lights, bulbs, make sure they're not burn out. Make sure they're clean. A lot of times in the spring, little birdies like to make their nests there, spider webs, all that. Just make sure, because it's that first presentation when they're coming in the house. And then you may even consider cleaning the exterior of your home and or your roof. A lot of times in North Carolina we get that lovely, black kind of mildew streaks on the roof, and so there's some great companies out there that can clean that. Very affordable. I actually do it to 100% of my homes when I turn around to resell them, whether it's a rental or a flip. It makes a huge difference. So I would highly recommend those, guys. If you want a recommendation, just reach out to us. We'll get that.